Hello everyone, I'm Ajay and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to summarize the whole Python course, and this course can be helpful for beginners as well as for those who just want like a summary type of course for the whole Python. And all the topics which are there in the video are taken from the InfyTQ website as well as from W3 School website. And you can manually go to the InfyTQ website, or you can scroll down to the page and you can see the URL mentioned here. You can go to that, and when you paste that URL, you will land up on the course page directly. So it's loading. Yeah. So this is the first course on the InfyTQ website. All the content mentioned here will be discussed in this video. So and for this is like a summary type of videos. For more detailed instructions and detailed content, so please do complete this course. So let's start. Let's start with the introduction. Firstly, programming. Programming is like everywhere in presently. Like right now, you're watching a video. Now, this video and this video is from YouTube. YouTube consists of a lot of programs. Same way, you're using a mobile phone, which consists of a lot of apps. Those are made of programs. So programs are everywhere presently. And what is a program exactly? So if take an example of human, we instruct a human to do certain tasks or to do this and that. Same way, when you instruct a system to do task, then that instructions are called as program. And act of creating a program is called programming. The act of creating a program is called programming. This is a small basic info, and after that we have the topic is algorithms and pseudocode. Algorithm is like a sequence of steps to build up your own logic. If you take an example of simple example of addition of two numbers, we usually do is to take an input and second input, then third to store the addition of both the inputs into a third variable and printing the third variable. That's a small algorithm for addition. Same way, its algorithm varies from different logics. So basically, it's like a sequence of steps to build up our own logic. And the next point is variables. Okay. So variables are like containers for data, that is they hold data, and value of the variable can vary to in various pseudocodes. And if we take basically like if we suppose like n equal to 10, then 10 is a value and n is a variable. So nothing but a variable is a name that is assigned to a value. It is done so that we can refer to that value at some point later in the program. So like if we define n equal to 10, and after some certain part of the program, we can still use a n to print some n value or n divided by 2, something like that. So basically it's like a name given to a value. So I already mentioned to assign a value to create a variable, we use a assignment operator to the left side of the value. And that's a small info about variables. Next is data types. So let's take the example like 1, 1.0, and then string like Ajay. Okay, so now for a program to use a data, it must be stored in the memory location, right? So the values are stored in a binary format in a computer memory, that we know. But how do we know that how many bits are required to represent a value, or how much space it needs to in the memory? This is determined by the data type of value and the programming language. Example, integer, float, and string. So based on the different data types, different memory allocation are required, and we need to know the data type of every value so that we can perform the operations easily. And Python mostly support three types of data. One is like numeric, another one is alphanumeric, and third one is Boolean. In numeric, we have other subtypes like int, long, complex, and float. These are the four types in numeric. And the alphanumeric, we have the string type, and the Boolean, we have the Boolean. So these are the basic data types that are present in Python. So if we take the example like for int1, for complex like 7j, 7i something, for flow 1.0, string, same example, Ajay. Boolean, we have just true or false. These are some data types. So Python is a dynamic typing language. Dynamic typing is a technique. So I'll just write it down. Dynamic typing. Dynamic typing is a technique in some languages where, depending on how a value is used, the data type of the variable is dynamically and automatically assigned. So you can see the example here, the previous example, this one. Yeah. So I mentioned n equal to 10. So I didn't mention like 10 is an integer or 10 is a float or 10 is a string, but by defaultly it's taking its value and it's automatically assuming the type of the value passed. So it is assuming it's an integer. This assumption and this automation about data is called dynamic typing, where dynamically data type is assigned. So that specialty is there in the Python language. But in Java, we know that for Java we use the type like int n equal to 10. It's definitely required to mention what type we want to add. So that's it. And one last thing about data typing is we have something like implicit conversion and explicit conversion. So in the implicit, if we take the example like 1 plus 1.0, so as the decimal value, so after addition, after the operation, it will automatically implicitly by defaultly convert into the overall 2.0, that is the decimal value. But if you want to explicitly convert like 1 plus int of 1.0, then it becomes 2, that is integer data type. So you can see int of 0. So whenever you want to explicitly convert any data, we need to mention the type, and in the round parentheses we need to mention the value. Same way, if you mention int of this 1.0, it becomes integer. If you make to it a string 1.0, it becomes a string. That way we need to convert it explicitly. So that's about variables and data types. Now coming to the operations in Python. Okay, operations in Python. Let me take one more page. Operations. Okay. Yeah. So we have various operators in Python. So it's operators. Okay. So we have various operators in Python. The first one is arithmetic operators. Arithmetic. So in the arithmetic operation, we have plus, minus, and multiplication, division, modulus division, exponentiation, and flow division. So plus perform addition, this performs subtraction, multiplication, division, this perform modulus division. This is like to find the power, that is exponential. This is like an integer division. So these are the arithmetic operators we have in Python. And next we have comparison operators. In the comparison operator, we have double equal to and not equal to, less than, greater than equal to, and less than equal to. So equal to compares the value, not equal to compares whether values are not equal or not. Suppose 2 not equal to 3, this would result in true because 2 is not equal to 3. This is less than, which means to check whether one value is less than the another, and greater than to check whether one value is greater than the another, greater than or equal to check whether the one value is greater than or equal to the another value, same way less than or equal to. So that's about arithmetic and comparison. Next, one more operator is logical. Logical, we have three. One is and, next or, and one more is not. And it returns true if both the statements are true, that is left and right both are true, and it returns true. And here if any one is true, then it returns true, either from the left or from the right. For the not, it's like not of true becomes false, and not of false becomes true. It just inverts the Boolean value. So that's about logical operator. Come to the next one, identity operator. The identity operator we have is, comma, is not. Is not returns true if both variables are in the same object, and coming to the is not, it returns true if both variables are not on the same object, not same object. Here it's same object. Yes. And the next operator is identity operator. The identity we have is in and not in. And in, coming to in, it returns true if a sequence within the specified value is present in the object or not. So suppose like 1 in 1, 2, 3, then it returns true because 1 is present in this sequence, and not in is an opposite of in. So that's about identity. And the last operator we have in Python is membership operator. In the membership, we have first one is and, where it sets it's like an binary and. So if we take 1 and 0, it becomes 0. It only becomes true, and it only becomes 1, and we have 1 and 1. Same way for or, that is this one. For this one, at least one value, if one value is 1, then this would result in 1, otherwise 0, like 0 and 0, 0. Same way for the XOR, the symbol is this one, like a cap. And for the XOR, it's like if both the values are same, then it would result in 0. If both the values are different, then it would result in false. Sorry, 1. Like 1 and 1 becomes 0. 0 and 0 becomes 0. But 0 and 1 becomes 1. Also 1 and 0 becomes 1. That's about the complete operators in Python. So we have totally 6 arithmetic, all the basic arithmetic of the comparison, to compare, logical, to and or not, same like and in Java and or in Java and C. And identity is or is not is to compare the whether they both have the same object or not. Identity is to check, it's mostly used in the sequences in and not in. And membership, we have ampersand, that is and. The truth table is like 1 0 means 0, 1 1 means 0, and also if you have 0 1 or 0 0, for all this value it's 0. And for the or, that is just a pipe symbol. It if at least one value is 1, then it returns in 1. Right. For XOR, If both the values are different, then we just have, we will get 1, otherwise we'll get 0. It's about the operators in Python. So come to the next topic. Okay, functions. Fine. Let's create one more page. Functions. Yeah. So a function is a block of code that performs a particular task. It's a basic definition. So if suppose this is a function, it's like a block of code and we have certain statements. This function is mainly defined to perform such the block of code that it contains. And in Python, functions are declared using the keyword def. Let's suppose the same example for addition of two numbers, def function, and here where we accept the parameters a comma b, can just print a comma b. And here print is a function. It's an inbuilt function. Print input and all certain data types like converting to int, str, all that. So print usually just print, and the syntax of print will be print and the value scp. Scp means separator. So by default the separator is comma, or you can also mention any other things like space or any other symbols. And also it contains addition parameter like end, which means after printing it, what's the end of that. By default the end is like a backslash and in other programming language, which means it should go to the next line. But if you overwrite it and mention end equal to just a space, so even after printing a complete statement, it just stop and it just be on the same line. And in the input we just play this an input and it takes the input from the keyboard, and by defaultly it converts the input into string type. So input converts into string type, so whatever type we need to explicitly convert, whether it can be integer or any other type. Same way like in function, like as it converts in string, if I just mention like int of input, then all the converted string will becomes to an integer, that's a numeric value, and we can store in some value called n. That's how the complete functions work. And coming to our example, I'm using the keyword def space function name, parameters, and print a comma b. It will print the values of a comma b. If I keep like print a plus b, it will print the value of a plus b. Also we also have the return statement here, def function a comma b return a plus b. So wherever the function is being called, that value will be returned to that function. So that's about functions. And next we have its control structures. So let's create one more page for control structures. Control structures. Okay, control structures. So basically there are like three types of control structures. First one is sequential. Second one is selection. Third one is iteration. Coming to the sequential, the control flows like through all the statements in the order in which we can. If we write 1, 2, 3, 4, these are the number of statements, just go like 1, 2, 3, 4. It just go on a sequential. That's about sequence control structure. But coming to selection, based on some conditions, the control flow changes. Suppose we have the condition like either 2 or 3 need to be happen, then it will move to either 2 or either 3. Same way, such condition will be applied. These are called selection control statements. Coming to the iteration statements, like 1, 2, 3, 4, we want like after 1 it should start from 2, it will go to 3, it will go to 5, and next it again need to come to 2, and 3 and 4. This iteration should happen. So these are called iteration control statements. So basically we have 3 types of control statement. Sequential are generally normal and the code which you write. Coming to the selection, with selection we have certain keywords to make the condition, that is if, elif, and else. Let's take an example like n equal to 10. If n is greater than 5, if n is greater than 5, then colon some statements like print n. And we want to check like multiple condition, like whether n is greater than 5, n is greater than 8 something, then we can just keep like if n greater than 5, print n. If n greater than 8, print n. Same way like that. But as we are using if again and again, the complexity of the program is becoming like it's becoming more complex. That's why we have one more keyword, that we got one more control statement we can use, that is elif. So here you can use like if n greater than 5, then you can just print n, elif, and greater than 8, print this. So that if there are if any case satisfies in the middle, it will not go to the other case to check. And at last, if you are sure that we don't need to check any other condition, we can just mention else, and else doesn't have any condition, so else colon the print or any other statements. That's how the complete selection control structure works. Coming to the iteration control statements, for the iteration we have majorly while and for loop. Firstly while the condition and block of code, that's it. So if we take example like while n greater than 5, print n, and n equal to n plus 1, and initially I declare n equal to 0. So first it will print 0, then n equal to n plus 1, it will again go 1 greater than 5, no, so 1, so 1 greater than 5, yes, so as the condition satisfied, so while loop iterate 1, then next 2, 3, 4, and when n equal to n plus 5 becomes 5 greater than 5, it becomes false, so while loop breaks, so this becomes out. So for such iteration statement we use while. Same way for the for loop syntax is for variable in any sequence. Example like for x in 1, 2, 3, then print x, then we get the output as 1, 2, 3. But there's also like a function called range, in which range function tells that we have 3 parameters in range: start, end, and step. End is like a mandatory, but start and step are optional. Start and step to start from which index and to until which index. Step is to by how many steps we need to increment. Suppose I keep like 1 to 10 and step is 2, then the values will be generated like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That's it. And also you need to mention that it will not go to the end what you call iteration. It will just stop till n minus 1 every time. Here it automatically stop till 9 because we are using the 2. But if you just use the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, still it will stop till 9 only. And if you just mention like range of 10, so by defaultly it will take start as 0 and step as 1. So same way, for if we use the same thing for the for loop for x in range of 10. Then it will and print out x, and we'll get the output like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on till 9. So that's about while loop and for loop. So let's go to the next topic, collections. Okay, let's get one more page. Okay, collections. Yeah, so collections. Let's take an example where we have a school and we have like n number of students in a school. Let's suppose we just have like 10 students and we want to store the data of like name of every student. So like name of first student, name 1 equal to Ramesh, name 2 equal to Suresh, name 3 equal to Ajay. We cannot just create the variables, and we cannot just create 10 variables to store each and every value. So for that reason, Python also provides a collection framework like list. So using list can store the n number of data in a single variable. You can just create like list or any variable like L is equal to inside square brackets. Empty square brackets declares it's like a list, or also you can use a list function to declare a collection. That's how you do it. So if you take the example of this, L equal to Ajay, Suresh, Ramesh, like that, all 10 students. That's how the list works. And coming to the list majorly, it's actually like index accessing. So if I tell like L of 0, as it have L of first index Ajay, so Ajay will be retrieved here. And it's also supports splicing as well. Splicing is a concept where we mention in a kind of um, start, colon, and n type of way, where like if I mention like L 0 colon 3, so L of 0 will be retrieved, L of 1 will be retrieved, L of 2 will be retrieved. Here also n will not be retrieved, till it will work till n minus 1. So L of 0, 1, 2, that is Ajay, Suresh, Ramesh. All three values will be retrieved. This concept is called splicing, and lists support that. So first one is indexing, second one is splicing, third one it suppose is like it's an ordered collection. So in whichever order you enter the list, that order will be maintained in the list. And the fourth point is list is changeable, you can easily update it. So previously it is L of 0 equal Ajay. If I suppose L of 0 equal to online learning, then the complete list will change and Ajay will be replaced with online learning. Next, we said it's changeable as well. And the fifth point is that it allows duplicates. So these are some 5 properties of list, and we have various methods in list here. Methods. First one is the basic method of list, through which we can create an empty list. And we have the next method, append. In this, we generally do like if you have the same list L, and if you want to add any extra value, we just like L dot append of the value which you want to add, and the value will be appended to the last. That's about append. And the third method is insert. Insert is like same way of append, but the insert we need to mention the position or the index where we want to insert. So first parameter will be index, second parameter will be value. So if I say L dot insert of 1 comma 10. So it means at the 1 it 10 will be inserted. So we replace, right? So online learning Suresh Ramesh. So at the first place the 10 value will be inserted here. And next function we have is extend. If we have some other list in freehand, then we want to add the complete list data to another list, then you can just keep like list1 dot extend list2. Then all the data of list2 will be copied to the list1. Next, remove. In the remove, we mention like list dot remove of whatever value we keep, and whatever value we keep in the value, that value will be removed from the list. Next we have is pop. The pop, it's same like remove, but instead of data or the value, we just keep the index of which the element need to be. If I keep like pop up 0, the first index, that is the 0th index, will be removed from that list. And next we have is clear. So if you mention like list dot clear, then all the data in the list will be removed. Next we have majorly used function, that is sort. We can just keep like list dot sort. Using this just one single method, you can sort the complete whole data. And you need to know one thing about sort. We'll take one more marker. Yeah, majorly about sort. Sort is like a case insensitive, or you can say case sensitive operation. It's a case sensitive operation. So if the list contains some strings, and string contains also have an uppercase and a lowercase strings, then in that case it will first sort the uppercase, and because uppercase has a lower ASCII values, so it will sort the uppercase, then it will come to the lowercase. Due to that, we cannot get an exact ascending order, exact sorting order of that. To solve that condition, we need to keep an extra way, that is sort of key equal to str dot lower list dot sort of key equal to str dot lower. This way the complete list will sort the data irrespective of cases, and it will convert the whole thing into a lowercase, and after that it will just print the output. So in the output, you can, irrespective of the cases, the value will be sorted. And also I said about the ascending, if you want to sort the data in a descending order, you can just keep like sort reverse equal to true. It's a capital T, true. This way, reverse. This way, or if you want to sort the data in a descending order, we can use this functionality, this feature, to sort that. So that's about sort. And next we left with two more methods. Ninth method is reverse. It will reverse the complete list. If you have online learning and all this online learning will be placed at the last, and it will just go on. Suppose if you have the values like 1 2 3 4 in the list, after reverse it will becomes 4 3 2 1. And the last one, copy. If you want to copy like a complete list values to another one, like uh, L is a new list and L equal to list dot copy, so all the values will be copied to the new list. That's about all the methods of list and some of the properties, the 5 properties of the list, splicing concept, and the case sensitive concept in sort, and all the 10 methods of list. So this is about list. Next we will study about tuple. Let's create one more page. Okay. Tuple. Okay. So for the tuple, this is mainly used in Python for the case like we know that we discussed a property of list that it's changeable. That we can just use the index of that and we can easily change the value of that. But we also need to take care of such situation where we don't want the data to be get changed. So all the function we want all the function of list, but we don't want the data to get changed. So for that reason, we have a tuple. It acts like same like this, but only thing is it's immutable. That is, the values inside that cannot be changed. Take an example like tuple equal to sorry, tuple equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. If we keep like t of 1, I want to change to 5. This would result in an error. And this is a way of commenting. Hashtag is used for commenting in Python. And coming to the properties of tuple, its order and it's unchangeable. Order means order we keep insert the elements or we keep them, that same order will be preserved. Unchangeable, that is immutable. That is immutable, where values cannot be changed. And next thing is it allows duplicates, and suppose indexing as well. So that's the 4 properties of tuple. And also suppose we have already a tuple and we want to add one more value to it. So to that we need to keep that t equal to t plus some value, comma, and close. This indicates a new tuple, and this tuple can be added to this tuple. Then the t value will become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We cannot change the existing value, but we can add a new data to our tuple. And next concept is about unpacking in tuple. What happens in unpacking is that we know we have the tuple like 1, 2, 3, 4 is a tuple. We want to do unpacking for each individual like n1, n2, n3, n4 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Then all the tuple values, or you can just instead of 1, 2, 3, you can just keep t. So all the t value n1 will be stored as 1, n2 will contain 2, n3 will contain 3, n4 will contain 4. So that's called unpacking. And we also have a multiple unpacking, like if we like n1 comma n2 comma n3 and we mention a star here, then what will happen is if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, let's suppose it's a tuple, then n1 will be n1 will contain 1, n2 will contain 2, and n3 will contain the data in a form of list, that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is called multiple unpacking. That's about unpacking. And we usually have two methods. One is count. So if we use tuple.count of 2, it will just return how many such values are present in a tuple. And if we, the next method is index. So we are done with our tuple. Now we're going to discuss about set in Python. Let's create one more page. Okay. Set in Python. Right. So we discussed about list. We discussed about tuple. So both later those are done. On the set, the main difference is that set doesn't contain like it contains an unordered group, which means it will not follow the order, and also it will not allow any duplicates at all. that is no duplicates. So first thing we need to notice, it's on order. The way you insert it, it will not be stored in the same way, and no duplicate, and set can be created using whether like something like s equal to this is also called as set, and s equal to set method, this also creates an empty set. So first is unordered, no duplicates, and next thing also unchangeable, same as tuple. This is also immutable, we cannot change the values of set. And set allows some methods. It has some methods like the first one is set method to declare the empty set. Second one is add method to add an element to the set. Suppose like s dot add of 1, that 1 will be added to this set. And the third method is clear. Set dot clear will clear out all the values. It will remove all the values from the set. And next we have is copy. Set dot copy, which says if you want to copy one of the set values to another, we just use this. And next is difference. Let's understand this with an example. Suppose you have one set 1, 2, 3, and next set 2, 3, 4. Let's suppose. So if we keep like s1 dot difference of s2, the answer for this will be 1. It will just subtract the values that are present in s2 from the s1, and whatever values are left in the s1, those will be printed. So 1 will be printed as the output. And the next we have method is discard. Discard is to remove the data. Whatever data we pass, that data will be removed. Whatever value we pass in this parameter, that value will be removed from the set. Next is intersection. So intersection, if we take the same example of s1, s2 here, and when we do s1 dot intersection of s2, we'll get the output as 2, 3, that is a common values. So on to the next method. You have is remove. So you might be wondering like discard is same like remove. In remove also we need to just a pass value. So what's the difference between remove and discard? In remove, if suppose this is a value s1, same example, s1 dot remove of 1 means it will remove the 1. But if you write like s1 dot remove of 4 or like 5, so the 5 value is present, not present in s1, but we are trying to remove that, it will raise an error. But whereas in the discard, you keep like s1 dot discard of 5, this will not raise an error. That's the basic difference between remove and discard. So that's about discard and remove. Next is pop. So in this, as we don't follow the index, it will just pop up the random element from the set. And second one is, last one is union. So it's the opposite of intersection. Instead of common values, it just add all the values. That is all the values come of s1, s2. The answer will be 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are some methods in set. That's about set. We have the properties and some methods. Difference between discard and remove. It's like an interview question as well, mostly asked. That is, what's the difference between a discard and remove, as both functionality is just to remove, and a way of passing input is also the same. The only difference is remove will raise an error, but discard doesn't. And that's about set. Let's move to the next topic, string in Python. Okay, let's create a one more page. Okay, string in Python. Okay, so you know that in programs, not only numeric data, but also there are other data is present as well, like names, location, where it requires to be stored. So to store such values, that is sequence of characters, we have the string in Python, and wherever we use like data, the value inside a double quote that's representing the string. And also if we use the function that is str to any value, then the automatically the value will be converted to the string. So as like tuple, as I said, this is also immutable, so the values of string cannot be changed. And string contains some methods like capitalize. So if we take example like an apple, small, so the output will be an apple fall. So only the first character of the complete string will be capitalized. If you just think like this will be s, so s dot capitalize, this would result in like an apple, for only the A will be capital, means it will be converted in uppercase. Next is case hold. In the case hold, if we mention like s dot case hold, then all the characters will be converted into the lower case. An apple for will result in like an apple for, everything will be converted into the lower case. And the next one, count. So you want to count any character in a string like s dot count of a. So how many ever a's are present in this complete string, that will the count will be returned here. So next method is ends with. We want to check whether a number or whether a string is ending with some kind of character, some kind of string, and we can use this ends with. If ends s dot ends with l, this would result true because this is ending with l. Other, if the string doesn't contain l at last, then this should have resulted in false. That's about ends with. Next method we have is find. In find, we just need to mention the string or value that need to be find in the complete string. And when we find, and then when we apply this method, that is s dot find of some value, it will return the index of the value that is being passed. And also some more methods like is alnum. Let me write it here. Is alnum. S dot is alnum. This would result in either true or false when the string contains only alphabets and only like numbers. Then if it contains this, then it will result in true or false. So the second one is, sorry, the seventh one is alpha. Is alpha means if the string contains only alphabet, or if you want to check like s is equal to 10, and if you mention like s dot is alpha, then this will result in false, as this is a numeric type. Next one is digit. Opposite of alpha, that is same like alpha. Instead of alphabet, if you want to check whether a string is a digit or not, same way if you mention the example s equal 10, s dot is digit, then this would result in true. Next is lower to check whether a string is lowercase or not. If it's a lowercase, then it will result in true, otherwise false. Next we have is upper. So if a string or a character that been passed is of uppercase, that is it contains all the uppercase, then it will result in true, otherwise false. Next one is lower. What this method does is same like case 4. So if you pass a string to it, so it will just convert the complete string to a lower case. And we also have the upper, opposite of lower, it will convert the complete string into the uppercase. And we have some methods like swap case, where the uppercase will be converted to lowercase and lowercase will be converted to uppercase. That's how the swap case works. And next method we have is strip. If you have like extra spaces in left and right ends, so that if you mention like s dot strip, then all the extra spaces and all will be stripped out, only the value will be remained. Next we have is title. So if you use the title method, all the starting characters of the word will be capitalized. Something if it is example of an apple fall, so this will be an apple, and next is fall. So now every word will be started with a capital letter if you use the title method. And that's all. These are the methods of set, and we have the properties like immutable and not changeable, and all like same properties like list and tuple. That's about string, and we just left with the one more topic, that is dictionary. Let me create one more page. Dictionary. Yeah. So dictionary is like a key and value fashion. So key and value are very useful, and if you take example of normal database as well, in the normal database we just store the values in a form of table. But if you want to store the values in a key and value format, that is non-SQL type of format, then dictionary kind of concepts are very useful. And also one key can be associated with multiple values. Suppose I have my roll number like 101 is my roll number, then it will contain my name, my all other details as well. So with just the 101 my roll number, we can retrieve all other details. So there are many other applications for dictionary. So the key and value is the one, and you need to know this, that first thing is that every key is unique in dictionary. That concept need to be followed. And next thing is that presently after Python 3.7, the dictionary is ordered. So whatever order we are giving, that order is being maintained. But till Python 3.6, that is previous version, till Python 3.6, dictionary was not ordered. Even this can be an interview type of question, so just remember that. So that's one property. And dictionaries are changeable. Values are inside of key can be changeable. Duplicate keys are not allowed. Duplicate keys not allowed. And we have some methods of dictionary like clear, which is used to clear the complete values inside the dictionary. And second one we have is copy, to copy the one dictionary values to the another. And third we have is get. So if you mention the key inside this, then particular value will be received of that key. And if you keep like items, item will receive like it will return in a key and value fashion in a form of tuple like key 1 comma value 1, key 2 comma value 2, same like that. item for the items it will return. And we have method of like keys where keys where it will return the complete keys that the dictionary contain. Next we have is pop, and pop has like key and an optional parameter. What actually happens is if you do pop of key, then if that key present in the dictionary, then no worries that that particular key and value will be removed. But if we keep something like pop-up key and where key is not at all present in the dictionary, this would result in an error. To handle that, you can keep like pop-up key, comma, an option parameter that can be a string stating what to do when there is no key present, when this key is not present in the dictionary. Suppose we have the dictionary like 1:A, 2:B, 3:C, and I kept like pop-up 4. This will result in error. But if I keep pop-up 4 and instead I keep like key not available, so whenever the key is not available, you will just get like key is not available statement instead of error. That's one function. And we have one more method, this pop item. Pop item looks like it doesn't accept any what you call value of any parameter here. It will just pop out the last inserted value to the last inserted key to the dictionary. And we have next one is update, where if you want to update any key column value or any add to any you want to add any new key column value, you can just use the update function. And finally we have values. As I said, keys function, it is all the keys that are residing in the dictionary. Same way, values function will return all the values of that dictionary. That's about the methods in dictionary, and these are some properties. And you should keep in mind that after 3.7, dictionary is being ordered. Till 3.6, dictionary was not in order, and it's changeable. Duplicates keys are not allowed. It's a dictionary, and that's about part 1. These are strings, set, tuple, collections, and list, control structures that contains if and while, functions, operations, and a basic introduction. This was the complete part 1 video of Python course, and that's it for this video. All the best.